Nelson, and welcome to this short video module on brand addiction. What I'm going to explain here is the addiction process, how it works with any type of experience or drug or anything that people can get addicted to, some examples of brands that you may be addicted to or that people get addicted to, and then some tips on how to get your customers more likely to be addicted to your own brand. So first off, why it's important. Those who come back to your business more than once are going to be your most profitable customers. I've had the experience of selling a $17 ebook or a $47 hardcover book. And then, for example, last week at a full-day workshop I put on where people paid $700 to come for one day, somebody had came only because they read my hardcover book and then they got on my email list. So that person, while not possibly addicted to our company's brand, is in that process of coming back to us again and again. So whatever marketing it took to buy my book, I guarantee you it didn't cost us $700 to get him there. So that becomes a profitable customer. So that's why it's important. You want people to come back to your brand again and again and again. And the deeper and more well-built your sales funnel is, the more that can happen. Now, some examples of companies that have customers who are truly addicted to their brands. One that I can relate to is Nike. If I had to wear one type of clothes or athletic gear the rest of my life, it would be Nike. It's always well designed, always good quality. Probably doesn't hurt that I live about 5 miles away from the world headquarters of Nike, and I'm a fan of their brand. But another example is Apple. Some people, like the video editor for our company, is addicted to Apple products. One of my employees tried to convince me to move our whole company to Apple products because she loves them so much. I'm not personally a huge Apple fanatic, but I can see how people can get, sucked into their kind of belief system. It seems to be almost a religion if you like Apple products. So they're a great example of brand addiction. Another example is actually Hard Rock Cafe. I'm here in Madrid, Spain right now at Independencia Plaza, and I'm right next to Hard Rock Cafe here where I just ate. And actually, every time I travel to another country, I seem to end up eating at a Hard Rock Cafe. They've defined their niche well, they have great food every time I go, the menu's pretty consistent, so I come back to them again and again. So it's not, it doesn't have to be something illogical. When you think of addiction, you always think of, typically, at first, bad things like drugs. But really, you can get addicted to anything. To laughter, to an exciting situation, to being with a certain type of person, to being in a certain type of environment, or to a drug or some type of experience. And so what I want to do now is explain to you the addiction process. This is something I learned while I was in a psychopharmacology class at Harvard University, and I was actually studying under one of the leading experts in psychopharmacology, which is how your brain activity interrelates with drug use. And we studied the addiction process in that class. And really, there's a really common process. No matter what you're getting addicted to, this is what happens. First, you experience something, whether it's consuming a drug, taking a drug, or having an experience. Then there's the positive effects, how long it takes to feel the positive effects. And then there's the possible side effects or bad effects of that experience or drug. And the closer that positive experience is with consuming the drug or having the experience, the more addictive it'll be. So the faster you have a positive thing happen to you related to that action, the more addictive it'll be. The longer spread out the bad effect happening, the less addictive it'll be. So basically, the longer delayed the bad effect is, the more addictive it will be as well. So if you think about it, the shorter the positive thing is related to activity, the more addictive. The longer laid out the bad effects, the more addictive. So in other words, if you drink a whole bunch of alcohol and you feel drunk, and you're like, wow, this is fun, it's going to be more addicting if that happens right away. If you drink 6 beers and you don't get drunk for a day and a half, it's much less addicting because you don't feel that effect right away, right? Whereas if you can also imagine that it's probably good for the alcohol industry that when you drink 6 beers, you don't get hungover in the next 7 minutes, 2 minutes after you get drunk, right? It's the next morning you get drunk and say, I'm never going to have a beer the rest of my life. That's when you feel hungover. So if you think about it, an easy way to remember the addiction process is that alcohol is a great example. Everyone can refer to somebody who's had too many drinks in their life and the bad effects happening, the good effects happening of doing so. And so if you think about that, it's the same in business. The faster you can get your customers quote-unquote drunk on the experience of your product, having a great experience, over-delivering in value, surprising them with your friendly staff, and all the things that they get they didn't even know they were getting. And then the longer you can delay or eliminate the hangover of, oh my God, that was a buyer's remorse decision. I shouldn't have bought from them. I should have gone with the other guys. Or, wow, now that I look at my credit card bill, that's a huge amount of money that I paid for that product compared to the value I got. That could be kind of the buyer's remorse hangover phase of possibly working with your company. or it might be something else. So the point is to make your product as enjoyable, as beneficial as possible immediately after someone purchases, and then delay any bad effects, any cost consciousness that could come about an expensive product you might be selling. So it's pretty simple. And again, I just want to reemphasize that to really take advantage of this and get customers coming back to you over and over again, what you want to do is have this word of mouth spreading by people who are literally addicted to your brand. So you want to think of bonuses and surprise features and advantages you can work into your product. People don't even expect that it just overwhelms them with a positive reaction to buying your product. So I hope you enjoyed this video on brand addiction. As an exercise this video, try looking at what you do to get your customers in the door and think about their first 6 hours and their first 24 hours of experience with your company. When they buy the product, what happens in the first 6 hours, 24 hours, 48 hours? Do they get something in the mail? Do they get an email? Do they get bonus products and features? Do they get a phone call from someone on your team? Do they get a personal email? And try to make your product experience or service experience as addictive as possible, because it's only going to help your customers learn about you and your company even more. So thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next time.